接下来的场次，我们非常荣幸邀请到演讲嘉宾高通技术公司资深副总裁及运算及游戏部门总经理 Kedar Kondab 先生。Kedar Kondab 先生将为我们带来题为“个人化 AI 装置的崛起”的精彩分享。For our next session, it is our great honor to welcome our speaker, Mr. Kedar Kondab, SVP and GM of Compute and Gaming at Qualcomm. Mr. Kedar Kondab will share his insights titled The Rise of Personal AI Devices. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Kedar Kondab.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's really exciting to be back here at Computex. I've been coming to Computex for the last many years. But I'll tell you one thing. I have never felt this kind of energy ever at Computex. This is something different. Computex is where ideas, real ideas, turn into real products. This is where the next generation of computing takes shape. This is where everything comes together. When you think about it for a second, there are about 6 billion people in the world. And only 1 billion of these 6 billion people today are using AI. For all of us here in the room, it feels like we're using AI every day. But the reality of the matter is that it has only reached 13% of the world that is using AI. With all this incredible progress on AI, the reality and the truth of the matter is, it is still very early. Yet, something big is already happening under the surface. What's really happening under the surface is that today, AI systems are creating about 50 trillion tokens every single day. 50 trillion. But here's the surprising part. Most of these tokens are generated by people and consumers that are typing questions in a chat window. But sometimes these are real agents. All of these agents that are always on. All of these agents that are quietly working in every business, every single day at machine speed. The industry is talking about a major shift. A shift in the value of economics. We're all starting to measure this value, as you've heard over the last several days, in what we call tokens. We need to think about tokens as a basic unit of AI. The more tokens that we see being consumed, the more AI is being used. Tokens tell us where the real value is. This is where everybody thinks of tokens as the new currency in the new era. Let me put all of this in perspective for you. A casual user that's using AI every day, you're using different AI tools every day, a casual user is creating about 5,000 tokens a day, just 5,000. Talk about a power user, somebody that is very familiar with how to use AI, very familiar with how to write agents, how to create different skills. That power user is creating up to 25,000 tokens a day. Now that is just one person. When you start to multiply that across an entire company, an entire enterprise, this grows very quickly. Now, if I start moving this up the stack, and I say that now let's talk about a large enterprise. A large enterprise today is already generating about 8 billion tokens every single day. That's 8 billion tokens every day. Remember, these are not conversations in a real enterprise. This is not about people typing in text and chat boxes. These are real agents that are running real business processes all the time, but very quietly in the background. This is the moment where AI stops being an experiment. AI now becomes real infrastructure because businesses are running on this infrastructure. And the entire industry, the entire market is responding very, very quickly. Last year, the world spent about $1.5 trillion on AI in just a single year, $1.5 trillion. In 2026, the expectation is that this number is going to cross more than $2 trillion. This is one of the biggest technology shifts we have ever seen in the industry. This is as big as mobile. This is as big as the cloud. Sometimes I almost feel like it's even bigger than the internet itself. And when you think about it, a lot of this growth is AI moving into all the different devices. It's moving into our PCs, it's moving into our smartphones, it's moving into XR glasses, it's moving into our wearable devices. So it's very clear the problem that we're talking about is not the demand. There is a very strong demand. The real question for all of us is, can we all deliver to this demand? It all comes down to just one thing, which is the compute that is needed to deliver for this demand. So let's spend a little bit of time and talk about the compute that is needed to deliver what the industry is looking for in terms of demand. Every consumer wants AI. What's holding back when we talk about compute is how efficiently can we deliver all of these different tokens that I talked about everywhere, all at once. When you think about it, there are two easy answers, but none of them work individually. First option, you can run everything in the cloud. But the reality of the matter is, it gets very expensive and it also sits much further away from the consumer. The other alternative is, we could run everything on the device. And we know that that is not sustainable either. So the real answer lies in the fact that we want to bring both of these together. We call it the intelligent distribution. We call it a hybrid approach. Some of the work, some of these models are going to run on the device. Some of these are going to run in the cloud. And as you can see from what I'm showing right behind you, when you run this hybrid distribution, you get the best of both worlds. The results that you can see are just remarkable because you can cut token cost in a significant manner. You can see where you have on-device, you can see where you have the cloud, and you can see where you have the distributed hybrid approach that I'm referencing. This is the real shift. It's not about the next model that is getting released, but it is about the system that can deliver these 50 trillion tokens per day, and we can start planning for the next 50 trillion tokens. Now let's talk about and bring the focus into devices that we use in our everyday lives. For a long time, we all thought about technology one device at a time. We talked about technology in a phone, we talked about technology in a watch, we talked about technology in an XR glass, we talked about technology in a PC. But the reality is, that is not how we all live anymore, because all of these devices work together. It is AI that is woven right into all of these things that we use every day. It's our phone, it's our apps, it's the watch on our wrist. Each and every one of these devices is getting smarter, is getting more personal, and it is very aware of our day and what we're doing every single day. Technology isn't a place anymore that we have to go and seek technology. It has become a part of our daily lives. It's helping us all the time. But what has really changed? What has changed is that all of these devices now work together seamlessly. They share what they know. They share the context from one device to another. These devices now become the entry point for all of these agents to move from one device to another. Now, this is where it all gets very powerful. When AI agents start to move across your apps, moves across your devices, it moves across your workplace, it just flows all the way. Think about it. You can start a task on your phone, you can finish it on your PC. For all you know, the hybrid approach is already running your task on your PC, even though you started it on your phone. The agent remembers where you were when you started the activity. It knows what you wanted, and it's going to carry that all the way through till the task is completed. Nothing gets lost. Why? Because the context from your phone, the context from your calendar and what you're doing every day, the context from your wearable device, it could be fitness data that it's achieving, or whether it's a ring, a personal device, or even your PC. You know, it even could be your car, where it's going to transfer the data from your calendar and it moves to your car and plans for your next meeting, it plans for traffics. This is how data moves across devices. This is how agents move across devices. But what amazes me the most is that this is becoming the new normal for everybody. A year ago, when I talked about some of these use cases, I talked about how data is going to move across devices. We all felt that this was something special. But now every single consumer just wants to use it. It's become a part of our daily lives. If agents are the future, which I think we all agree they are, the question is, what powers these agents? These agents can work at scale only when the compute underneath all of these hardware platforms that we know can keep up with it. Intelligence that is on every single moment of the day, always on, always responsive, and always local to your device. No device in this industry is better suited to run this more than your personal computer. It brings all of these things together all at once. The power, the efficiency, and a real understanding of how you work and what you do in your daily lives. This is why the center of gravity is shifting. It's shifting towards systems that are built to carry these massive workloads day in and day out. I'm going to shift the focus to what we've been doing with Qualcomm with the Snapdragon family of products. I'm going to take a moment to reflect how far we've come in such a short amount of time. It's been about 24 months since we launched our very first generation of Snapdragon X. At that time, we said the PC was being reborn, and it was the start of a bold new chapter. But since then, our pace has been remarkable. In September last year, we unveiled a second generation of Snapdragon X series platforms. Everything that we talked about comes to life right here in the silicon. This is what Snapdragon X delivers. Compute that is powerful, compute that is balanced. It scales up when you need more compute, it scales down when you don't. It works very efficiently all day, hour after hour. This is what we're calling intelligent distribution that lives inside your chips. And the reason for that is because agentic AI demands performance that is real. Agentic AI demands performance that is sustained. Agentic AI demands that all of these workloads run in a very efficient manner. You know, as we grow and the platform grows right along with us, so do our consumers. Today, Snapdragon spans every single segment. It goes from consumer all the way to commercial. It goes from premium all the way to performance. In each one of these, Snapdragon is becoming the preferred platform for consumers. For us, the natural next steps is to go broad, is we want to be able to drive real scale and bring these benefits to more consumers around the globe in more and more form factors. The AI experiences that I talked about are now everywhere. They're across our entire lineup with the Snapdragon X series. Let me give you a little bit of a picture in terms of where we've come with the Snapdragon X series. This is now a complete family of platforms. With our latest generation Snapdragon X2, we've taken another huge leap forward. Snapdragon X2 Elite delivers up to 67% higher performance compared to the previous gen. I don't remember the last time anybody in this industry has offered a 67% performance generation on generation. That is a massive leap. But what is equally important, that all of these performance gains come with battery life improvements. More performance and better efficiency, all provided to consumers at the exact same time. This balance is what lets AI run pervasively on your PC in a fast, cool, and reliable manner. The real story is the momentum that we've created behind the entire series with our partners. Across Snapdragon X, there are more than 150 designs available from every major PC manufacturer. These devices are now available in more than 10,000 stores across the world. More than 6,700 applications now run on Snapdragon PCs. More than 2,500 of the top PC games are enabled on Snapdragon. But our partners aren't just making apps work. They're optimizing these apps. They're designing them for Snapdragon to make everything faster, smoother, and more importantly, more intelligent. Don't just take my word for what I just said. Just take a look at what the industry is saying. The analysts, the reviewers, these are all the people that watch this space every single day. The reality is, it's hard to get some of these people excited. So when they're excited, you know something real is happening in the background. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about Snapdragon being in the premium, driving some incredible amount of performance. But at Qualcomm, we believe that the benefits of Snapdragon shouldn't just stop there. Now, we're ready to take the next big, bold step. We want to bring Snapdragon to an even bigger audience. Earlier this week, we introduced something new, the Snapdragon C. It's a brand new compute platform built for the entry tier of the PC market. It brings everything that people love about Snapdragon, the long battery life, the fast and responsive performance, and the AI, all in cool, quiet designs. What this does is it now opens the door to a whole new range of devices at price points that you've never heard of, putting Snapdragon within reach of many more consumers. Snapdragon C is designed around how people use their PCs every single day. Snapdragon C is meant for teachers, it's meant for students, it's meant for families, it's meant for small businesses. Snapdragon C is reliable, always ready performance for every single thing that these consumers do. It's breakthrough technology for the entry tier with the long battery life that Snapdragon is known for. Here's what makes Snapdragon C even more special. It offers form factors and various products that you've never seen before in this class. It's going to set a new standard for what a PC can do at an entry level. And of course, we will share more details on Snapdragon C as we start getting closer to launch. You know, everything that we've done leads us to this moment. This is where agents come into play. With Snapdragon X series, we now run full agent orchestration right on your PC. It's not a demo. It's a real capability that is ready across the entire ecosystem today. And our partners are moving fast. They're building agents that work across all of your different apps. They understand what you're doing in real time. And it's across multiple devices. And it can take action for you across all these different devices. At the same time, a whole new wave of AI models now run natively on Snapdragon. AI models such as OpenClaw, Hermes, Cursor, Claude Desktop, OpenAI Codex, OpenCode, all of these running fast, running efficient, with the quick response time that makes an agent feel completely seamless. This is the work that Snapdragon was built for, and it's available in market now. When we talk about agent orchestration, this is where everything comes together. At Qualcomm, we are at the epicenter of the shift. Devices that are talking to each other, devices that are working together, delivering a whole new set of experiences. What started as a vision is now real, building step by step, generation by generation, alongside our partners. Today, this is already at scale. And the devices that you see, we have a reach of more than 3.5 billion devices that we're already touching around the globe. But that's just the foundation, and it's ready for what's going to come next. Earlier this year, we announced a partnership with Google. We believe Google is in a very good position to help harness the power of Snapdragon and bring incredible experiences with the performance, the battery life, and AI to bring this to every consumer across the globe. I assume you've seen the launch of the Google Book from Google that was announced recently. I'll tell you, from everything I've seen, I can't wait for all of you to try a Snapdragon Google Book and see the power of what we can bring in this ecosystem. You know, moments like these don't come very often in our industry. The choices that we all make right now are going to shape the industry for the next many, many years. None of us can get there alone. It takes real collaboration across all the partners, across multiple platforms, across different regions. This is true right here in Taiwan. So much of what we showed you today exists because of this community. It's your innovation, your craftsmanship, and your partnership. Here's the exciting part. We're still very early. The momentum behind AI is just growing. More devices, more use cases, more of the work that we all do every single day. While we are very proud of the work that we have done with all of you over the last 2 years, our eyes are set on what comes next. That's our story. Tokens, devices, agents, and all of the platforms that tie everything together. Thank you.
感谢 Kedar Kondap 先生带来